What if the deepest pain isn't losing them, but losing yourself in the process? Discover the 5 hidden ways we react to grief. The passing of a loved one is an experience that shatters our world, leaving behind an unbearable silence. It's a universal truth, yet each person navigates this profound loss in their own unique way. The initial shock often gives way to a complex tapestry of emotions and reactions, some visible, some deeply hidden. We try to cope, to make sense of the senseless, to find a way to continue living when a part of us feels irrevocably gone. But in our attempts to manage this overwhelming grief, we often fall into patterns of reaction that, while seemingly protective, can prolong our suffering and obscure the path to genuine healing. This script explores 5 common reactions to the passing of a loved one, revealing how these responses, from denial to workaholism, are often unconscious attempts to resist the ultimate truth of impermanence. By understanding these patterns, we can begin to move towards a more compassionate and insightful way of experiencing grief, ultimately leading us to a profound realization of impermanence and a deeper sense of peace. Let's delve into 5 common ways people react when a loved one passes, and how these reactions, while natural, can sometimes hinder our journey towards acceptance and understanding. 1. Denial, the fortress of unreality. Reaction, the immediate aftermath of loss, often triggers a profound sense of disbelief. We might find ourselves saying, "This can't be happening," or expecting the loved one to walk through the door. This denial acts as a psychological buffer, protecting us from the overwhelming reality of the situation. It's a temporary refuge, a fortress built of unreality. Buddhist lens. Ignorance and delusion. Denial is a clear manifestation of ignorance and delusion. It's the mind's refusal to acknowledge the truth of impermanence, that all compounded things, including life itself, are subject to change and cessation. This delusion prevents us from engaging with the present reality of loss, trapping us in a cycle of unacknowledged pain. Example: when Sarah received the call about her mother's sudden passing, her first thought was, "No, this is a mistake." For days, she found herself setting an extra plate at dinner or reaching for her phone to call her mother, only to be met with the crushing realization of her absence. Her mind simply refused to accept the finality of it. 2. Over-grieving. Intense emotional outbursts, the storm of uncontrolled suffering. Reaction. For some, grief manifests as intense, prolonged emotional outbursts. This isn't just healthy mourning. It's a state where the individual is completely overwhelmed by sorrow, anger, or despair, often to the point of being unable to function. They might lash out, withdraw completely, or express their pain in ways that seem disproportionate or unending. Buddhist lens. Suffering and craving attachment. This reaction is a direct experience of suffering amplified by craving attachment. The intense emotional pain arises from the mind's clinging to what was lost, the person, the shared experiences, the future together. The inability to let go of this attachment fuels the storm of uncontrolled emotions, preventing the mind from finding any respite or clarity. Example: after losing his wife, Mark became consumed by his grief. He would often break down in public, unable to control his sobs, and spent most of his days in bed, replaying memories and cursing his fate. His friends tried to help, but his intense sorrow pushed everyone away, leaving him isolated in his pain. 3. Blaming fate. God. Others. The search for an external scapegoat. Reaction. When faced with unbearable loss, some individuals seek an external target for their pain. They might blame fate, a higher power, medical professionals, or even other family members for the death. This projection of blame is a way to avoid the raw, internal pain of grief and the feeling of powerlessness. Buddhist lens, aversion and wrong view. This reaction is rooted in aversion towards the reality of loss and wrong view that there must be an external cause or culprit for their suffering. It's a refusal to accept personal responsibility for one's own emotional response and an attempt to find comfort in externalizing the pain. This prevents genuine introspection and acceptance of impermanence. Example: when David's younger brother died in an accident, David became enraged at the universe. He questioned why a loving God would allow such a tragedy, lashed out at the doctors who couldn't save him, and even blamed his brother's friends for not being careful enough. His anger became a shield against his profound sorrow. 4. Workaholism. Excessive busyness, the distraction from within. Reaction: many people cope with grief by throwing themselves into work or other activities, becoming excessively busy. This constant activity serves as a distraction, a way to avoid confronting the painful emotions of loss. The individual might appear productive, but internally, they are running from their grief. Buddhist lens, craving attachment and ignorance. This reaction is driven by craving for distraction and a subtle form of ignorance about the necessity of processing grief. It's an attachment to activity and a delusion that busyness can somehow erase or diminish the pain. While it might offer temporary relief, it ultimately delays the healing process and can lead to burnout and deeper emotional suppression. Example: after his father's death, Michael buried himself in his startup. He worked 16-hour days, took on every new project, and rarely slept. His colleagues admired his dedication, but he was simply trying to outrun the emptiness he felt inside, hoping that if he stayed busy enough, the grief wouldn't catch up to him. 5. Depression withdrawal, the descent into inner darkness. Reaction: for some, grief leads to a profound state of depression, characterized by persistent sadness, loss of interest in activities, fatigue, and social withdrawal. This is a deep, overwhelming sense of hopelessness and despair, where the individual feels trapped in their sorrow. Buddhist lens, suffering and conceit ego. This reaction is a severe manifestation of suffering, often compounded by a subtle, conceit ego that clings to the identity of a grieving person. The withdrawal is a way of protecting the self from further pain, but it also isolates the individual from potential sources of comfort and healing. This state can be a deep trap, preventing the recognition of impermanence and the possibility of liberation from suffering. Example: after her child's passing, Maria retreated entirely from the world. She stopped answering calls, rarely left her house, and lost all interest in her hobbies. Her days blurred into a monotonous cycle of sadness and sleep, as if the world had lost all its color and meaning. Bridge to wisdom, the inevitable truth of impermanence. These 5 reactions, in their varied forms, are all attempts to grapple with an uncomfortable truth, the impermanence of all things. We cling to what is dear, and when it inevitably changes or departs, our minds recoil. But what if this profound loss, this shattering of our world, is not just an end, but an invitation? An invitation to truly see impermanence not as a cruel twist of fate, but as the fundamental nature of existence. What if the pain of grief, when fully embraced and understood, can become the very catalyst for a deeper awakening, leading us to a peace that transcends the ebb and flow of life and death? Ancient wisdom, particularly the Buddhist understanding of impermanence and non-attachment, offers a profound lens through which to view loss, transforming it from an unbearable burden into a profound teacher. The commentary, a Buddhist perspective. Loss, especially the passing of a loved one, is one of the most potent teachers of impermanence. Our suffering arises not from the event itself, but from our craving, attachment to what was, and our ignorance of the true nature of existence. The path to healing and peace lies in understanding and embracing this fundamental truth. The 3 marks of existence and grief. Buddhist teachings highlight the 3 marks of existence as fundamental truths of reality. 1. Anicca, impermanence. Everything is constantly changing. Life, relationships, and even our own bodies are impermanent. The pain of loss is often our resistance to this inherent impermanence. 2. Dukkha, suffering, unsatisfactoriness. Because everything is impermanent, clinging to anything leads to suffering. The sorrow of grief is the direct experience of this unsatisfactory nature when our attachments are broken. 3. Anatta, non-self. There is no permanent, unchanging self or soul. Our sense of self is a collection of constantly changing phenomena, 5 skandhas. When a loved one passes, it challenges our sense of self that was intertwined with them, leading to a feeling of fragmentation. Understanding these 3 marks helps us to see grief not as a personal failing, but as a natural, albeit painful, response to the reality of existence. The 4 noble truths of loss. 1. The truth of suffering. Dukkha, the suffering is the profound pain, sorrow, and despair experienced when a loved one passes. It encompasses all the 5 reactions discussed earlier. 2. The truth of the origin of suffering. Samadaya, the origin of this suffering is craving, attachment, our clinging to the existence of the loved one, to the memories, to the future we envisioned with them. It's the desire for things to be other than they are. 3. The truth of the cessation of suffering. Nirodha, the cessation of this suffering comes from letting go of this craving and attachment. It's not about forgetting the loved one, but about releasing the clinging that binds us to pain, allowing us to hold their memory with peace and gratitude. 4. The truth of the path to the cessation of suffering. Magga, this path is the Noble Eightfold Path, which provides a practical framework for cultivating the wisdom, compassion, and inner strength needed to navigate grief and find liberation from suffering. The Noble Eightfold Path to navigating grief. Samadhi, right view. Understanding the truth of impermanence and the nature of suffering. Seeing that death is a natural part of life, not a punishment or a mistake. Samma Sakkappa, right intention. Cultivating intentions of acceptance, compassion for oneself and the deceased, and non-harming, rather than intentions of blame, denial, or self-pity. Samavaka, right speech, speaking truthfully about our feelings without getting lost in self-pity or anger. Communicating our needs to others and sharing our grief in a healthy way. Samakamanta, right action. Engaging in actions that support our healing, such as self-care, seeking support, and honoring the memory of the loved one in wholesome ways. Samma Ajiva, right livelihood. Ensuring that our daily life supports our well-being during grief, avoiding activities that might exacerbate pain or lead to unskillful coping mechanisms. Samma Vayama, right effort. Making a conscious effort to let go of obsessive thoughts about the past and to cultivate thoughts of peace and acceptance. Working to transform the pain into wisdom. Samasuddhi, right mindfulness. Being fully present with the feelings of grief as they arise, observing them without judgment. This allows us to experience the pain without being overwhelmed by it, recognizing its impermanent nature. Samma Samadhi, right concentration. Developing a calm and stable mind through meditation, which can provide a refuge from the emotional turmoil and allow for deeper insight into the nature of loss and existence. The way forward. Embracing impermanence, finding peace. Navigating the loss of a loved one is a deeply personal journey, but by embracing the wisdom of impermanence, we can transform our grief into a path of profound awakening. 1. Acknowledge and allow. Give yourself permission to feel the full spectrum of emotions without judgment. Grief is not a weakness. It is a testament to love. Allow the waves of sorrow to wash over you, knowing they will eventually recede. 2. Practice self-compassion. Treat yourself with immense kindness during this time. You are experiencing one of life's most challenging events. Rest, nourish your body, and seek comfort from those who care for you. 3. Cultivate mindfulness of impermanence. Consciously observe how everything changes: the weather, your mood, even the intensity of your grief. This practice helps to loosen the grip of attachment and fosters acceptance. 4. Honor their memory, not their absence. Find healthy ways to remember and honor your loved one. This could be through sharing stories, engaging in activities they loved, or contributing to causes they cared about. Focus on the love that remains, rather than the physical absence. 5. Seek sangha, community, or support. You don't have to walk this path alone. Connect with friends, family, or support groups who understand and can offer a compassionate presence. Sharing your burden can lighten it. 6. Reframe your relationship with life and death. See this loss as a profound teacher. It reminds us of the preciousness of life and the inevitability of death. This understanding can inspire us to live more fully, love more deeply, and cherish each moment. When the world as you knew it crumbles, and the silence of absence becomes deafening, do you cling to the fragments of what was, or do you dare to look beyond the veil of sorrow and find the profound truth that awaits? What if the ultimate lesson of loss is not about what you've lost, but about the boundless wisdom and compassion you can uncover within yourself, transforming grief into a gateway to liberation? If this message resonates with the silent ache of a heart that has known loss, share it with someone who might be navigating the challenging path of grief. Let's create a space where sorrow can be met with understanding, and where the truth of impermanence can lead to lasting peace. Namaste.